Perfect. All right. I think we're on. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Aloha. Hello.
I was like, we're not King of Sing. I'm Steven Diego.
I'm Emily.
I'm Christine.
Christine, move in. Sorry, guys, for everybody who is listening to this podcast right now, we are live on Facebook as well. And we are on camera, so just kind of make sure everybody's sitting together. This is Breaking Down the Breakdown. And for today's super special episode, I say it's super special because I have my roommate and our other good friend. Honestly, guys, it's pandemic, okay? These are the people I live with.
Bubble.
This is our bubble. Very limited to the people that I can see. I'm wearing fake glasses. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Now I just look like an asshole. Okay, I'm gonna take it out.
I'm wearing real glasses.
Okay, perfect.
Because I can't see.
Do you want to wear my fake glasses?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, perfect.
I can't see.
Welcome, guys. Hello, Facebook viewers. Remember, if you at any moment want to join in on the talk, feel free to just type on the chat, ask us questions. But for today's episode, I know that the show deals with mental health issues and, day-to-day issues that you have, how it affects your, how can I say this?
Your everyday life.
Well, not just that. There's a specific word that I'm thinking about, but yes, right?
Yeah.
But it's more like your psyche.
Your existence.
Right? Your existence. I like that. And I was thinking about this because I was just hearing them downstairs when I was playing games, and they were just laughing and they were just doing whatever downstairs. And I was like, how are they so cordial? Not even just that. They're way past the point of cordial. How are they so good? And you're probably wondering why I'm saying this. It's because they used to date.
Oh,
Gross.
Right. And for me, it's like, I've always heard of exes being friends, but every time that's come up, I've always thought of, just very, like, civil, Christmas and birthdays. It's like me and my ex, actually just birthdays,
Not Christmas.
Not Christmas. So it's one of those things where I'm like, well, this is really an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to ask them a few questions because there might be other people out there who may want to continue a friendship with their exes, and it might actually be both parties wanting this, but are scared that the other person might think it's something else, the other person might feel like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So, and this is why I brought these guys on here. So, if you guys have any questions for Christine and Emily, let us know, but let's get this show started.
You can wear the glasses, by the way.
Oh,
They don't look good
okay.
on my
No?
face. Like,
Okay.
If it's too round, it makes my face look more round.
Love it. Alright. So, my thing is this, right? I remember when y'all were ending.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of weird saying this.
Throwback.
Throwback. Woo! I know, I'm so sorry to bring you guys back to this, but, I hope you guys knew that I was going to ask these things. Did any of you think that you would actually still maintain a friendship? And, really maintain the friendship?
Not initially.
Yeah.
Not initially. I thought that, we'd never see each other again. Just the way, I don't know. The pessimist to me, I guess, just, thought the worst. But,
What about you, Christine?
I thought we'd still be friends.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because
she has experience being friends with exes. I don't. So I've never had that before. So, for me, you break up, and then you don't see each other again. Maybe you see each other a year later, once a year or something. But, I never maintained a close friendship with any of my exes. So I didn't think, based on my experience.
Then it would material. Okay.
No, I thought that was the end of it. I'll never see her again.
one of my best friends is my ex, so...
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I guess there's different types of people. There's people like Emily who, are just kind of like, okay, well, that chapter's closed.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that closed.
Yeah.
And then there's you.
Yeah.
Well, that chapter is closed, but it's a book, so let's write a new one.
Yeah, well, for me, it's kind of like, if you want to stay in my life and be friends with me, that's fine. I'm down for it. And we'll see where it goes. We'll stay friends. But if you don't want to, I'm not going to force you.
Right.
If you want to leave, then leave. There's the door. I'll hold it open for you, too.
Yeah, she asked me. She's like, if you don't want to be friends with me anymore, it's fine. I get it. And I was like, no, I do.
Okay, so I guess that was a turning point for you then, because I guess you've never really had that option with your other exes.
No, like it was never really talked about, but it was just that's how it was, you know, like come get your stuff and then get out of my life, you know, like that's how it goes.
That sounds like such a terrible. What the fuck? Like how?
It's kind of mean.
Yeah, like how did your okay? Well, I'm guessing your relationship did not end that well with these ones.
No, not so much, not so much.
But with this one, it was.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is that we didn't end on bad terms.
Right.
It was nothing like no one like betrayed anybody. Nobody like did anything really bad. It was just. It
just. Better as friends, I guess.
Yeah, better as friends. Personally, I'm just not ready to be in a relationship. I'm not in that point in my life where I can maintain that and also like keep my mental health in check. So.
Okay. Yeah, and also I wasn't ready for a relationship, like because I wasn't completely 100% over my previous relationship. So like I rushed into it a little too fast, and like that was my fault. I shouldn't have done that.
Did you apologize to her for that?
Yes,
yeah, of course.
Of
course.
I'm just fanning the fucking flames here. Okay?
Actually, I didn't even remember. I'm like, I think I did.
I'm just being an asshole. I'm so sorry, guys.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Like I always own up to my mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, I do like 95% of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah.
I like that.
95% of the time. Like I'm a human being. I still like have days where like I don't want to own up to my mistakes. Like who does that? I mean who doesn't do that?
Mm-hmm. I'm kidding. Yes. Yes, you know what? There's still small things that I don't like. You know, okay, like sometimes at work, I work at Starbucks, I accidentally put Splenda instead of Stevia in a coffee. And it took me so long to make that coffee. I'm on drive-thru and I'm just like, let me just add a Stevia. You know, and it's one of those things where I was like, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to own up to it. But it's funny because as of lately, I've been like, fuck, I can't do this. And I have to dump the whole thing. And I'm like, oh my god, there goes my time. But I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Like, I can't not own up to it. I'll just feel guilty for the rest of my life. Like, I can't even the smallest thing, like making that kind of mistake.
It comes back to haunt you.
Yeah. It does. Like, I just think about, like, oh my gosh, I should have told that person that I did this by accident, or I broke this, or I did that. Like, I can't be like, oh no, I don't know what happened, or oh,
Yeah, honestly, same. Like,
it'll eat away.
Right. Like, I can let it go for 2 minutes and it comes back.
Yeah.
Like, if the same drink comes back, I'm just like, hey, remember when you... And I'm just kind of like, oh my god, here it goes.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
I don't know who Steven is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, but like, that's why, you know how, like, I always ask him, like, hey, can I use this? Or, like, hey, can I borrow? That's why I always ask you, because that's how my mind thinks. It's like, you can't just take it. You have to ask. Because if I just take it, I feel like I stole it.
Right.
So even if you, like, wash it and put it back and you never knew, you still know that you took it without asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, which brings me to the next question then. For me, I feel like with the exes that you have failed to maintain a friendship with, and I'm pretty sure there's a few exes you've had that you're just kind of like a no, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it kind of like, has there been events that happened in the past that, it's like what we were saying, that we kind of like didn't really own up to, that we felt like maybe contributed to that toxicity of the relationship?
Like mine and her relationship?
No, like your other relationship.
Oh, any relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, like with my ex before her, like I did some things too that weren't, how do you say this? That weren't very positive, let's just say that. And I really didn't want to own up to it. Like, I knew what I did was wrong, and I owned up to it to myself, but never to other people.
Right.
Because I didn't want to look like the bad guy. So I wanted to be like, I wanted them on my side, so I never owned up to anything that I did.
Oh.
That's why.
Okay.
But later on, I realized, like, that's not really like how I should be living my life. Yeah. Like, that is not up to my morality, and that is not up to my standards of how I want to live my life, and like that's me basically throwing away my value.
Exactly, because you're not that kind of person.
Yeah. You know, so later on, I what do you call this? I owned up to it.
Nice.
I owned up to the things that I did. I opened up and like, yeah, so I did this, and that. But so like, it's not just their fault, it's also my fault. Yeah.
What about you, Em?
Yeah, I think so. I think with my last relationship before her, there was definitely some lack of communication on my part, like not really being upfront about what I needed or what I wanted or just like my feelings in general. So I don't really know if I really owned up to it. I think we spoke recently-ish, and I think I might have mentioned it, but at the time I definitely wasn't ready to, or wasn't really seeing like, you know, what I did wrong. I was just seeing what the other person did wrong.
Right.
But yeah, for sure, it's hard.
I like that. That hits too close to home. It's like,
Yeah.
it's always what they did to us, right? But we never really realize what we've done to them.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that both of you have sort of had that closure with what you've done to each other.
Yeah.
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 I think so.
Yeah.
And that's why this is kind of like smooth sailing. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
we're fucking great friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like one person's at fault or more than the other, because like we realize that there's mistakes on both parts, and you know there's some growing up we both need to do and work on ourselves. So
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
For
shit.
sure.
I hope everybody gets that kind of maturity within their relationship now or the next one.
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, it's really hard at first.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because my personality, I'm not the type to confront people. I don't like confrontations. I don't like conflicts. If I can avoid it, I will avoid it. And I will do everything in my power to avoid it. But sometimes you just gotta go for it.
Right.
Like, you have to. Because that's the only way you can resolve any kind of issues.
Sorry, I'm just updating this.
no problem. Your keyboard is amazing, by the way.
Right? It just,
I know,
it's
I've been
so
staring
nice.
It's beautiful. It's everything I've ever wanted in my life.
All right. Remember, guys, if you have any questions at all, you want to have your input. If any of you that are watching right now has had experiences with being friends with your ex, good or bad, you know, feel free to type it in the comments. Feel free to call us on Messenger right now. We're taking caller number one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
We're gonna have a telephone.
Exactly. We're gonna be hello,
Hello.
everybody. All right. So on to my next question then. And I have to ask this because I feel like this, a lot of people gets affected by this. When you first started becoming friends again after the breakup, how did that feel?
To be honest, it didn't really feel like we were friends. It still felt like we were still kind of a thing. Like it was really hard for us to find that boundary between being friends and being a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just until like recently where we finally found that boundary.
Yeah.
Before it was just a mess.
It was messy.
Yeah,
until,
it was
like,
just really
September.
messy.
Yeah.
Bitch, I know.
To
I
be
live
honest.
here.
It was really hard. Just
Yeah.
really hard in a lot of ways too. Like it was painful for me actually.
You know what? Like, I actually wanted to ask you because I know her side
Mm-hmm.
and I know how she felt, but I never really got the chance to see it from your perspective, right?
Yeah.
Like, were there times where you were like, "Is this even worth it to continue a friendship with her?"
No, I never really felt that.
Okay.
But it was just like, am I ready? Was what it was, I guess.
So it's always been like you do want to be friends. It's just
yeah,
not maybe
there was
not
never
right
a
now.
doubt in my mind, but it was just, am I ready right now? Like, is my heart healed
Right.
enough to continue this and like, you know, to do that right now? Like, I never doubted that I wanted it for sure. Like, I really value her as a friend, but it was painful at the start for sure.
But I mean, shit, you guys got over it in like how many months? Like,
I don't know.
I don't
My days are so like melded together
yeah,
that I don't
she just
even
started
know.
waking up in the morning now.
Yeah.
And just waking up at night.
Oh my god.
But yeah, because like it's only been months since you guys broke up, and you guys are.
Yeah.
It's like the dynamic is great.
Yeah.
You know, like I hear your little banters. It kind of scares me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, oh shit, are they gonna fucking get into a brawl? Like it's like exes fight, and I hear about
Yeah.
that. Like, but
Yeah.
it hasn't been like that.
No.
Do you feel like, because I know that when you guys were in your relationship, you've helped each other out immensely with your mental health issues. I mean, you've both been on the show, you know.
Mhm.
You've been on the show talking about your BPD. You've been on the show talking about your anxieties and your depression. A lot of people, I feel like, are so scared to break up with their significant other who's dealing with, mental health issues.
Yeah.
Because they're scared that they're going to go off onto that deep end, go off onto that, I'm gonna kill myself if this didn't end, right? Like, did that ever cross your mind because when you guys were ending your relationship, has that ever crossed your mind that I'm scared this might happen?
Yes, it did cross my mind, but I also knew that she's not that stupid. I also knew that.
You gotta say it's stupid.
No, I mean like she's not stupid enough to like think about like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself over somebody, over another person. Mm-hmm. Like I know she's not that stupid. Like she's a very smart girl,
right.
And yeah, so like I did just explain to her like, hey, like I am dealing with my own mental health stuff. I thought I could help you too, but I'm starting to take on your mental health stuff and start thinking of it as my responsibility to fix it.
Right.
And it just was not working for me, and it just started taking a toll on my mental health. And so I explained everything to her, and she understood. So I just told her that like we just need space and we need to grow separately.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard in the moment because it felt really personal at the moment. Like, I felt like it was my fault. Right. But as we talked more and she explained it more, I realized like it wasn't. It was also like, it was a her thing, not like an enemy thing. Like, it was both of us. So, but initially it was hard, but it was never like, of course I would have like a semi breakdown about it because it was something,
sure.
I wasn't expecting it to end so soon. So it was hard at first, for sure. But it wasn't life ending, like once you realize, especially the fact that we remained friends and we were in it together, like we were healing together, that like kind of helped to have her there as a support. Cause like we said before, we always helped each other with mental health and stuff. So she was like, it's funny enough, like through the breakup, she was the one there supporting me through it, and I knew I could get through it because we were going through it together, and it helped.
Wow. I'm gonna cry. I wish I wasn't so toxic. Maybe my ex and I would still be friends.
No, you're not toxic.
I was though. I really was. And if you're watching this or listening to this by some chance, I mean, I think we have a pretty decent relationship right now. Like, we only talk to each other once a year, so it's nice. Yeah. But, and I felt like that's always what I wanted with a breakup. With being friends with an ex, right? Because like my ex was my first, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And we were together for 5.5 years.
Oh, it's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long fucking time. So, and I figured this is also maybe why it's hard for us to be friends, because there's just so much. There's so much there. There's so much weight. But, and I clearly you guys are great. So this question isn't gonna be about the two of you in your relationship, right? But for me, one of the biggest things that still haunts me at night is it's like when you start to realize after you stop blaming them and you start to take on your responsibilities and your flaws and everything, I started noticing that majority of our fights were because of me. Majority of our disagreements were because of me. Majority of the letdowns, when I felt let down, was because of me. I never let my ex down. It was one of those things where it was me.
Yeah.
That it started taking its toll on me and started making me feel like, holy shit, I'm a terrible human being. Right? Because I can treat other people amazingly. How come I never treated my ex like this?
Yeah.
And I started to, I started to unravel. And, that really contributed to my decline in my mental health. And now that I find out that, I've had OCD all along, it all made sense. I ruminated over things that weren't even real.
Yeah.
And it was like, I felt so bad because when I would talk about my problems, like with my closest friends, thankfully I only told my problems to my closest friends that I was able to rectify it. But every time I would talk about my problems, it felt, like my ex was super insensitive. It felt like my ex never cared.
Yeah.
But how can a person care about something they don't know is happening?
Yeah. Tell them. Yeah.
Right? And not just that. It's like majority of it. It was like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like now more than ever, I felt like, damn, like my ex was a amazing human being for being able to stay 5.5 years with somebody who was mentally unstable.
Yeah.
You know, for me to not know there was a diagnosis I needed to take care of, for me to not know that there was, you know, I'm going through a serious, potentially debilitating mental health issue.
Yeah.
And this person was able to stay by my side for 5.5 years after everything I put this person through.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like shit.
But you realize that now and you're changing for the better, so... Yeah.
I am, right? I just really wish that, you know, like, I could apologize to this person. In person. And, you know, COVID makes it hard. Like, you know, I can send a text, but...
You can, one day, you will.
Yeah, and Mike's don't like reading long shit. So, you know, but now, and that's my question then, it's... Has there ever been a relationship in the past for you guys where you wanted to kind of just, you know, like, not go back in time, but let's revisit this person and just kind of be like, hey, actually things were like this, like that, because you felt like maybe you owed them the explanation that they can feel better about themselves. Because that's my thing, is that I felt like I put this cloud on my ex.
Yeah.
And tainted the way my ex thought about themselves.
Yeah.
Has there been a time or a person where you feel like you've done that to? Or were you that person that you feel like, at the end of the day, I really feel like I wasn't that kind of person that they painted me out to be?
Yeah, I think so in a sense, but I don't really have much experience with relationships, to be honest. Like, I haven't had very many, so I don't really have much to say, so go ahead.
For me, it's the latter. It's not the part, it's the latter. It's more like... Because I've just come to a realization that I'm not trying to sound like such like a top shit bitch here, but like,
top shit bitch. She a rapper now.
No, but like I was the one who got away for him. It's not the other way around.
Okay.
I've always thought it was the other way around. I've always thought he was the one that got away from me. But then the more I thought about it, because I really sat and thought about the whole situation, our whole relationship, and the dynamic that we had, everything that had happened between us, and it was kind of, and then it, because towards the end of our relationship, like the past year, I stopped treating him and serving him the way that I did.
Serving. That is a big word, my people.
Yes.
Serving. What do you mean by serving?
Well, basically, okay, not serving, but like I was basically acting like his wife.
Oh, that sounds like the word serving. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted you to elaborate, because I
like,
felt like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like I was basically his wife. He treated me like his wife. I acted like his wife. So, like at the beginning of the year, I did everything for him. I would clean his room, organize his drawers, make sure he's got food on the table right after he gets home from work, make sure there's coffee for him in the morning by the time he wakes up, and I wouldn't eat until he would get home so that he has somebody to eat with, even though his mom's telling me you don't have to wait for him, just eat. I'm like, no, it's okay, I'm gonna wait for him so he has somebody to eat with. And I did everything for that, like all of that for him, and yeah, and then I would spend my money for him there and all that stuff. And then towards the end of the year, just because he did too much. Like he did too much. He name calling, just mistreated me, like a lot of things. And that's when I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like, and I told him from the very beginning of our relationship, you can treat me however you want to treat me, but just know the way you treat me is how I'm gonna treat you, or 10 times worse, because I don't take shit from anybody.
Right.
And so there's that. And then he started complaining. He was like, you don't make me my coffee anymore. You don't do this anymore. You don't do this anymore. I'm like, gee, I wonder why. Ask yourself that. And then, but I did still do some things for him. I still did the laundry. I still made sure there's food for him.
Right.
Like I still did the bare minimum.
Still fucked him.
Shut the fuck up. So, but like, yeah, like I still did the bare minimum for him because he was my boyfriend.
Right.
And we've been together for a few years. So yeah, there's that. And then when we broke up, I was just thinking, it's like, wow, he got away. Like, he's the one that got away from me because he provided me with a family. When he came into our room and he just saw me crying, and he was like, why are you crying? I'm like, because I'm alone. Like, I feel lonely. I don't have a family. He was like, well, you're here with me now, with my family. I know we don't have much, but we're your family. So I remember that time. Like, I remember those times, but just the cons outweighed the pros.
Of course.
So it's kind of like, yeah, like I got stuck on the pros.
Right.
And I just kept on overthinking about that. And then that's when I pulled myself back. And then I thought of all the things that I did for him. And then I'm like, okay, I did more things for him than he did me.
But you know what? Like, I do want to add, right? Like, I'm so glad you're speaking out about that.
Yeah.
Because I want to kind of pique your brain a little, right? Like, you being able to say that you realized he wasn't really the one who got away, it was you, right? Doesn't take away from the fact that he was great at times. Right?
Yes, he was.
And I'm just really happy, I'm just really proud that you're finally coming into your own, you're finally gaining that confidence that you deserve, right? You're getting it back. Do you feel like in the future, like, if you found somebody that, you know, like, you felt like, okay, I'm ready to settle down.
Yeah.
And they started acting like your ex.
I would drop them.
Yeah.
I would drop them. Yep.
So it wasn't...
No hesitation.
Right. It's not even like a compromise where, like, I know my worth now. This is not going to work out like this. You're not even going to be like, okay, this can't happen. We need to talk. You're just going to be like, all right, peace. I've been through this. I'm done.
Yeah. That's just because that's my personality type. Because with me now, before I even think about settling down, I want to get to know the person first.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I know them for at least a year, just so that I know them well enough. And then once we're together, and then they start acting like that, and I know that they're getting way too comfortable.
Right.
I leave.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave because I will tell them straight up. I'm like, hey, if we're gonna get into this and it's gonna be a serious relationship.
Yeah.
I want us to be courting each other for a whole year first, get to know each other for a whole year. And I will tell them what I'm looking for and what we can compromise. But if they can't do that, or if they say, yes, I can do that, and then later on they don't, I'm going to drop them because I've experienced that with my ex already, and them saying, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, I won't do it again. Because me and my ex have broken up multiple times and gone back together multiple times. Because he said, oh, I won't do it again, after I've told him everything that I wanted to tell him. And he said, oh, I won't do it again, I promise I will change. Nothing changed. So.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm not going to go through that again.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so like if you start showing signs like that after I've told you the things that I don't want, that I don't like, and that I'm willing to compromise with, and you're not willing to compromise with it, we're done. That's it.
How do you feel about that kind of situation? If you found yourself in a situation where somebody kind of treated you like that, let's say you were in Christine's shoes, and I'm asking you this because you and Christine are night and day. Like, I feel like you and I are a lot more alike in terms of how we would handle these things.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't do it the way she did. It's nothing against you. I actually commend you for that. It's just a very different method.
Oh, for sure.
Right? How would you feel if you had gone through what she had gone through, but then found somebody that you were like so compatible with, everything is great, but started showing signs of how your ex was like?
So I can't really say for exes, but I guess I can say for friendships. It's kind of
friendship
similar.
Is just, yeah.
So
it's just
last year me would have been kind of like let's talk about it, let's try to work it out and give the person multiple chances until I finally give up, you know. Okay. But this year me is very different because I recently went through a breakup of sorts with a really close friend of mine. Someone was my best friend who treated me very badly, and all around there was so many signs and so many things about them that were not good for me, but I kept ignoring them and kept giving them second chances, and eventually it was just too much. I had to cut them off and be like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. It's not good for me. So now that if I were to encounter any kind of person like that again, in terms of relationship, friendship, whatever, I don't think I could do the same thing again. Be like, let's talk about it, let's work it through. I would see those signs and probably just be like, no, if you're that kind of person, I know it's not going to work. no. Like if like right away or like, you know, a couple months into the friendship, relationship, whatever, I start seeing those personality traits or those like, you know, the actions or like just like the way that they are, like, you know, you can't change somebody, they can only change themselves. So I don't know, I can't say that I would even give them the opportunity to change anymore. I don't know, like I just feel so hurt and so like I feel like I wasted so much time on this friendship where I was just hurting myself and like I prioritize myself a lot more than I used to, where I just, it's not worth it. I would just bye.
And there you have it. Dasha, very good point. Which point? Girl, yo, Dasha, get on this show.
You need to be more specific.
Get on the show, call us, come join us, you know, come ask us questions. Dasha is a good friend of mine, really good friend of mine. She also knows Christine.
Yeah.
How do you know each other?
He's a Tandingan, bro.
Oh yeah!
You dum-dum.
Shout out to KZ. If you're watching this, KZ.
Yeah, remember you said
Northy Blast.
Shut up. Remember you sent me and then they gave me the
band. Oh,
the band
right.
thing. And then I was like, hey, I'm supposed to look for Dasha. I was like, where's Dasha? They're like, oh yeah, she's based. I'm like, where's Dasha?
That's amazing. Alright, I completely forgot about that. No, but touching upon Emily's point, that's a great answer. And it's so funny because you're like, I don't know, but you ended it with
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I went through a journey while I was speaking. I went through a journey. I was like,
you're like, where am I going to go with this? That's where I'm going.
I'm like, yeah, I know where I'm going.
And you know, and I gotta ask you again. Sorry, you just talked to them. It's okay. no, but it's just what if? Because that's a great point. Like with your friendships, I actually feel like a breakup with a friend is just as painful as a breakup, if not more,
for sure,
than an actual ex, right? Because they're the ones that know you in and out. Like they're the ones that hears about the uglies with your ex, the great things, right? But with everything, and you know, with this person, like this friend of yours, do you feel like it was so hard for you to let them go because they've been there through your mental health breakdowns?
In a sense, I guess, but I guess COVID, shout out COVID, helps me accept it more, because there was a period of like maybe 4 or 5 months where I didn't see this friend at all, and like this friend is not a great texter or communicator like when you're not in person with them. Like if you're not in front of them, they basically don't exist to them. So it was kind of like, it was hard to stay in contact. So I kind of went through that period of time figuring it out on my own and like reaching out to other friends to talk when I needed to. So I wasn't relying on them that much in this moment. But it does, I think the longer I go without that friendship, there are moments in time where I'm going through something, or like there's something I'm like, I wish I could tell this person, or I wish I could talk to this person about it. So I feel that a bit. But honestly, like, this person didn't care that much about me like I thought they did. They were kind of more about themselves anyway. So honestly,
I hate that. And I hate it when you realize it too.
When you realize it, like, even like sometimes I have issues and I'm like, I wish I could talk to them about it. But then I know what they would say, because I know this person so well. I know it wouldn't be helpful to me, because they wouldn't really put the time and effort into listening actively to my issues that I need. Right. So all in all, yeah. What was your question?
I get that. No, like I mean, like even what was I trying to ask you again? No, but I totally get that. Like I still have friends that exist in my life where I feel like I can't talk to them at all. I feel like I can, but some of them would just reach out to me because they have something to say, and it's totally fine. Like if you're my friend, and I'm so sorry if in Tagalog,
they're all offended.
Yeah, like it's like if the shoe fits, like I apologize. I'm not trying to say something, but if you get affected by this, then
that's a long comment.
We will read Dasha's point in a bit, but for me, it's they only want to talk to me when something's going on with their lives.
Yeah.
But the way they do it is they ask me first how I'm doing.
Yeah.
And say, what's going on with you? But you already know. It's because they want to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes me, it makes me think about, am I not being a friend enough for them to have to go down this route of, I have to go ask Steven how he's doing first before I can talk about my issues, because otherwise he wouldn't ask me about mine.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of like this thing where I'm like, so who's the bad friend? Is it me or is it them? And I relate this to a relationship, because you know, I do want to ask. I mean, you know, this episode is about exes, and you know, you guys are here. But I do want to ask before we get to Dasha's question. Hey, Glenn, ask us questions. Get on the show. Call us if you want to be on this. But has there ever been a time where you both, when you guys were together, felt like once you got together, it was hard to communicate how you felt, and not how you felt like, you know, like I'm tired today or whatever, but how you guys were truly feeling.
Like you mean like mentally, how you were doing with your mental health and things like that?
That, or like if there's something that happened between the two of you, how you can address it without asking yourself, am I overreacting? You know, without asking yourself, how would they feel about if I voiced my opinion or my feelings about this?
I mean, I'm an anxious person, so that's kind of what my whole life is about.
Right.
Kind of just thinking, am I overreacting? Am I reading into things too much? You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't really think of anything specifically, but I'm sure there were times like that. In terms of talking about how I was feeling mentally, when it didn't concern the relationship, there was no problems with that. Like, I felt really open to saying, you know, like, I'm having a rough day, or this is going on in my family life, or this is going on with my friends, and I'm, you know, conflicted about it. Like, I had no problems talking about that.
Now, do you feel like when you had those days, you failed to neglect how she felt because you were so into your
I mean,
emotions?
I guess so, because ultimately that was the, you know, the problem. I kind of made my problems her problems, I guess, too much. I don't know.
How do you feel about that, Christine?
What? Wait.
I fucking knew it. I knew she was gonna be like,
wait, I was listening. I
bitch,
just
no,
zoned out
you
for a
weren't.
little bit.
Hello, Ben. Ask us questions if you.
I just zoned out for a little bit.
Okay,
I know what happened. So just a little bit, like I felt just a little bit neglected.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she always apologized, like at the end of the day, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm freaking out too much, or I'm taking it all out on you, and I just told him, like, it's fine. Even though I know that it wasn't fine, because I was like, oh God, how do I fix this? And then I'm like frantically sitting. Is that even a thing? But like I'm like
Sitting very intensely.
yeah, I'm like sitting and frantically like looking for ways to like help her, like help get rid of her problems for her. And I didn't really, what do you call this? I didn't communicate that with her. I didn't communicate with her that, hey, like, your problem is kind of stressing me out, kind of thing.
So there was no way for me to know that, you know,
Yeah.
it was too much. That's the thing, yeah.
So it was communication at the end of the day.
It was my problem.
Communication, yeah.
Damn, communication. Honestly, you thought the C word for, you know, would be COVID, but really the C word that kills is communication. My goodness. All right, let's get to these questions before. Okay, Dasha says, not too sure who said it, but when you experienced it already before and you mentioned to your partner what you like and what you can both change, and if they say they will change it, and after a while it's still the same, then drop that motherfucker. All right.
That was moi.
That was Christine's reaction. Oh, Dasha, yes. Dasha's not holding back. A question about friends with benefits. Oh, this is... I wasn't going to ask anything. I'm going to keep that off topic because I don't want to know. But it's been more than a year since we stopped and still message from time to time, either flirt for a laugh or just to ask how I'm doing. We would joke around about our future, not super consistent, but it makes me wonder, does he just want sex or want more than that? I don't want to ask him yet since I'm not in a rush, and I also can't handle a relationship right now since this pandemic, no point. That's a good question. Dasha, you know, I was gonna be like, I had a lot of fuck buddies. I actually don't. I have stayed largely abstinent after my ex. But, you know, from a guy's perspective, actually no, this is from anyone's perspective, really. Like, I mean, I've had people in the past, people that I've met before my ex, that after me and my ex broke up, you know, kind of hit me up, and we would flirt, you know, maybe, you know, kind of just flirt heavily, you know, no contact whatsoever, but it always ends up with the talk about sex, right?
Mm.
And honestly, for me, it's because I'm bored. And I don't want to say this is like maybe just because this guy is bored and so he's doing these things back and forth with you, especially if you guys have been, sexually active. You know, it's hard to tell because what this pandemic had done, and I find this with a lot of people, because I'm on dating apps, but I'm not dating, right? Like I'm just bored and I'm just kind of like, let's see who will hit me up, and I actually don't even respond half the time, right? Or when I do respond, I tell them straight up, I'm like, I just want friends.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they speak of having, fuck buddies, but then they want to add more, and it's just kind of like, that kind of defeats the purpose of friends with benefits, right?
Yeah.
I think it's communication. You should communicate. If you have questions, don't
Right.
worry yourself just wondering what could it be, what could they be thinking. Like, just
Right.
straight up ask them.
Right, because Dasha, like what Dasha's saying right now for people on Spotify or like on the podcast who can't read the questions like we are, what's the point if do you like me or not? Why go back to me? I'm hella fucking far from him. But here's another thing, right? Like maybe because you guys had such a great connection that maybe it is a friendship he's after. Maybe you are friends, right? But maybe he does miss the kind of like post-sex talk or like pre-sex talk, right? It's something to ponder because you also have to understand you might not be the only person he's banging, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you might not be the only person he has this kind of relationship with or this kind of interaction with. You could be one of the four. Now, knowing you are one of the four, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, also, speaking from experience,
Oh.
it's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea to be in that situation. Get out.
There's that too, yeah.
And there's also like, look for hints. Does he only message you when he wants to flirt? Like, every time you start a conversation, like not even like 5 minutes into the conversation, is he flirting already?
Right.
Those are like hints that you should be looking for, because if that's how the conversation always goes, there's never like a platonic conversation where you just talk about anything in general, like you always end up flirting or talking about sex. Clearly they're only after one thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're only after one thing, and honestly, if I don't know if you still have feelings for them, but if you do, you're never going to get over them unless you cut them out.
And that keyword is feelings, because Dasha never really said that she had feelings for this guy.
Yeah.
But the way that you were talking about it
Sounds
like you have developed some,
yeah.
right? Because going to Emily,
Mm-hmm.
have you had, I wouldn't want to say plenty, or like have you had, friends with benefits before?
I guess a few times, not too much.
Right. And was it more on the side of the benefits?
It's so hard because I feel like I really don't understand friends with benefits, because I feel like my brain kind of confuses what's the difference between friends with benefits and a relationship, because isn't that what a relationship is? Like you're friends with that person, but then there's also benefits.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to distinguish. Like it's like, oh, if you go out and you go shopping, whatever, do friends stuff, but like isn't that kind of like a date if you're going out and you're eating and like hanging out, even just like playing video games in your room or just like hanging out, like that's still like it's really strange.
And
I don't know.
See, and this is
Her and
why
I
I went
had a
to
big
her.
argument about this.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't try to like understand, like explain it to me, and she's like,
Because
well, what?
I've had multiple fuck buddies and also friends with benefits.
Right.
So it's like
And
I
those
know
are
the
supposed to be different
boundaries.
things too. Fuck buddies,
They
friends with
are.
benefits are
You know what?
different
Okay.
Okay, fuck buddies, you only call them out, you only hit them up if you want to fuck.
Oh
Friends
boy.
with benefits, people that
I'm
you
in the
want to
middle
like
of
hang
an
out with,
ex's
you
argument.
want to hang out with, but then later on you want to do something with them.
So this is so friends with benefits in my mind is the same thing as a relationship, but an open relationship. Whereas you are in a relationship with them because you hang out with them and you do stuff and you have sex, but you're not limited to that one person. You can do the same thing with other people. So it's still a relationship, but it's not a closed relationship. It's open.
What you don't understand is there are no romantic feelings whatsoever. It's all platonic feelings.
So there you go. So that's where it differs.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And I feel
for
like
me, I am on a different spectrum here where I cannot not
I was
have
gonna say,
feelings.
and this is why I went to her, because
Yeah.
Dasha, I feel like, is like Emily,
Yeah.
right? And let's see what Dasha just said. He said he misses me. He never said that ever. But again, like what you said, I could be one of the 4. I really do like him. He even offered to pay for my flight and etc. Oh man, don't tease me like that if there's a fucking pandemic. I cut him. We cut each other. Then he started hollering since March because again, just simple convos asking how I am. Honestly, Dash, there have been times where people have said to me, I miss you, but it had no weight. They miss seeing me naked, right? They miss, the little, like, sexual flirtations going on, the little videos or snaps that, nudies that I send, right? And that's what they miss, Because ultimately, I feel like you, me, and Emily, me to a lesser extent, because I do understand the whole fuck with benefits, friends with benefits, and fuck buddy, and open relationship. I do understand the huge gap in between all those, right? But for me, and this is why I don't hook up, I know myself. Like I'm an emotional player, like I can talk to girls and guys, right? And I can be flirty with every single one of them. But that's why I would never sleep with any one of them. Because I will end up feeling like, oh, we did something. And then there's this sense of expectation, almost. They're kind of like, well, if we did this, do I feel shitty that you're doing this with other people?
Okay, I came to a realization. So because both of you guys date guys and girls, it's a lot different.
Hang on.
No,
Let me just tell Dasha something.
It's my turn.
Hang on, I just want to tell Dasha something. Dasha, he might just be missing what he can receive from you and what he can get from you. That's why he says he misses you.
There you go. All right, Emily?
Okay. My train of thought.
Because we like guys and girls.
Oh, yeah. So, because both of you date guys and girls, so same gender and opposite gender, and I only date same gender, right? So let's say a friendship between 2 girls and a friendship between a guy and a girl are very, very, very different. Like, a friendship between 2 girls is very, very intimate. Where, like, it's almost like you're in a relationship without the benefits. It's like the opposite, where it's like, because like the friendship is like so like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's like the perfect a movie. I watched a movie. One of my favorite movies ever called Frances Ha said it perfectly. They were like an old lesbian couple who doesn't have sex anymore.
Yeah.
Where they're just best friends. It's actually not a gay movie, right? Like they're best friends. They do everything together. They sleep in the same bed. Every single thing together, but platonic.
That's the thing, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, in my mind, it's really hard for me to distinguish between platonic and romantic at times, I guess. Not where I'm saying, like, oh, I'm in love with one of my friends. No. But, like, the connection and how deep it is that I have with some of my female friends. Like, girls, when they're friends with each other, like, they talk about their feelings, they talk about their troubles and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that 2 guys or a guy and a girl don't do that. But, like, for example, I have one friend who she wants to just have, like, friendships with guys without, having relationships with them, but they keep like having crushes on her or wanting to be with her anytime she shows them the same kind of like friendship that she shows with me. But for me, because like we're girls and that's how we are. We talk about our feelings. We talk on the phone for hours. But if you as a girl you do that with a guy, you're gonna get the wrong idea and think, oh, she's into me.
Right.
So it's just like the way that I view, like I do relationships, friendships and relationships are very different. So like I can't. I don't know.
It's hard and
it's just different.
The great thing about it though is like we've come to a realization now that the problem isn't necessarily what you identify as. Again, the problem is the big C, which is communication.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas people before never had to be open about or like, be really vocal about what they wanted. Now we do. Because it's funny, for years and years and years and years, this has been a huge problem between not just the straight world, even like the gay world or the lesbian, the bi world, where people just kind of like, oh, we're so close.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden there's an attraction, right? But it's because nothing was said, right? And it's like what you said, that's why it's confusing sometimes. Is it platonic? Is it not?
Yeah.
Because nothing was communicated. I don't know if you are showing me this because you are my best friend, or you are showing me this because you want to care about me more than just a friend, right? So I totally get that.
Like there isn't a difference and there is a difference. Like I think too when it comes back to like, oh, how are we able to stay friends? Yeah. I feel like a lot of it is because we're both girls. Because like our relationship would have been a lot different if one of us was a guy, for example.
I'm a guy.
Basically. But if she was a real guy.
Yeah, well, because she's not into men.
Yeah, so for example, because we're both girls, like our first date, two of her friends were there, and like I got to know her friends really well.
I'm sorry. Yo, are you kidding me? Your first date, you brought your friends?
Yeah, Bernice and Kuya Blue were there.
Okay, no, hang on. No.
Well, it wasn't
no,
like
no,
she
no,
didn't bring
listen.
them.
You
She
need to
invited me.
reword that.
She
I
invited
hate
me
you.
later.
You need to fucking reword that, bitch.
Okay,
This
shut
is
up.
what
Let me
happened.
say it,
You need to shut the fuck up. Let me. Okay, so this is what happened.
She invited
Shut
me
the fuck up
to
for a second.
She was
Okay,
hanging out
no,
with
shut the
friends.
fuck up.
And
Guys,
then
we
she
have
was
neighbors.
Listen.
Guys,
Shut the fuck up.
this
Okay,
is not the
so-
Mom Murray show. I
Okay.
ain't trying to be no Jerry Springer.
Okay, so what happened was our actual date wasn't because there was the whole like light show in the distillery district.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be our first date, but like because I was so like caught up in the moment because that night me, Kuya Blue, Bernice, and some dude she was bringing.
Oh yeah.
We were going out to cruise and tangos.
Okay.
And so I was like, and I couldn't wait. Like I really wanted to meet her because I haven't met her in the first time, and we hit it off right away. And I wanted to know, like, can we hit it off personally? So I was like, you know what? Why not wait for our? Why not like why do I need to wait till Monday? Why don't I just invite her now? But like I didn't count that as our first date.
Oh,
Well,
It was just hanging
it was
out.
the first time we met.
Well, that's different then.
I know. I'm not saying. Okay, that wasn't the point, anyways.
Okay. Anyway, the point
I'm just
was-
saying that throughout our whole relationship, like her friends were around a lot of the times, and we hung out with her friends and things with her friends. But for example, I don't know. From what I've heard about heterosexual relationships, it's not the same thing. Where like, maybe I will meet the friends of your partner, but you guys aren't all hanging out together. For example, like the guy is not going to go and hang out with the girls' friends, especially like without her, or like, even with her. Like it's not like, oh, let's go hang out with my friends all together. Like it's kind of like, from what I know from my friends, they like to keep like their friends and their relationships kind of more separate. Like their boyfriend will know their friends, but not be like become friends with them.
I think that is just a preference on that person because I have groups of friends, you know, heterosexual relationships where, you know, like I'm either friends with the guy or the girl, introduces us to their, you know, current or like past relationship, let's say, and I end up hanging out with the significant other. We end up hanging out with the significant other.
Yeah.
It's literally just a preference. If they want to keep it separate from them, or they want, you know, they want you in their world as well. It's just, you know, some people are like that, I guess, because they want to keep things interesting in a relationship because they don't want to be all the time. You
But
know?
I think there is a dynamic too. Like for example, like if two women are in a relationship and they're like, "Oh, we're having a girls' night with our friends," like a lot of the times their partner will come with them as well, and you have the girls' night together. It's not like, "Oh, like hey, bye, honey, we're going on a girls' night," and you're really just sitting other behind. So we were together a lot more because we share interests. We know we're both girls. So I felt like we had developed not only a relationship but a friendship as well beside it, like a strong friendship. That's why it was easy to make the transition from relationship to friendship because there was already a big foundation of the friendship. I knew her friends, and I was friends with her friends as well, and like, you know, we did our hobbies together and stuff, and we hung out and did a lot more things than just like, you know, going on dates and whatever. That's what I'm trying to say.
And to touch base with what Steven said about preferences, it really is all about preferences.
Oh, for sure.
Because look at me and my other ex.
Yeah.
I'm friends with his friends. I've actually grown really close to his friends. That they're my friends now. They're my family.
Yeah.
We see each other every weekend.
Right.
So like it's all about preferences.
Yeah, for sure.
And I kept him away from my friends because none of my friends
I was
liked
gonna say,
him.
we don't know.
Yeah.
I've never met this man.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Tasha, Steven and I.
No, we're still friends.
Because her ex is one of my bestest friends.
Oh.
And that did not end well. But yeah, I still have. And you know, the greatest thing about this is that my friend knows that Tasha and I are still cool. We're still close, you know, and no animosity whatsoever, you know, because that issue is not between me and the two of them, it's them, and that's completely separate. But let's just exchange the
I have another point to like make as well.
Go ahead.
So what you were saying earlier about like how like you couldn't, or I don't know, you were talking about your 5-year relationship.
Right.
I also think there's a big difference between long-term relationships and like more short-term relationships. Like our relationship was so short. I feel like we've been friends longer, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway.
What?
I think at this
Yes.
point you have been friends.
I feel like we've been friends longer than we were in a relationship.
Yeah.
So like, the fact that our relationship was so short, it made the transition even easier. But if you were in like a serious long-term relationship with someone for like 5 years, it's not as easy to make that transition, maybe not even be possible, because you have so much history and you like kind of built a life together in a sense. We never had that. Like our relationship didn't really flourish into an actual relationship because there wasn't time for it to. So it made that a lot easier.
Yeah, but also I would like to disagree because we've only really been like platonic friends for 2 months.
Drinking this fucking tea. So that's what y'all been doing in the other room.
What the fuck? No, I mean like just like strictly
2 months.
like strictly platonic friends for 2 months because
still do
shut
it.
the fuck up. Because we started talking in February, right? February 10th. I remember we started talking.
Yeah, my mom's birthday.
Yeah, February 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, oh, how are you? And then right off the bat we started flirting.
Mm-hmm.
And then February 10th to like September, we were kind of a thing.
I don't know.
We
There were moments where it was and then it wasn't. Like the first time that you broke up with me, and then the second time. I don't know. I feel like
the first time I broke up with you, we were friends for like 2 weeks, and then we were back again.
yeah. I don't know.
It's just messy. But
Wow.
I guess so, but like still, like I just maybe okay. So the point wasn't that we've been friends longer now. It feels like we've been friends longer just because I feel like our friendship is stronger obviously now because we've known each other, we know each other a lot better. So that I feel like the friendship is more memorable in my mind. The rest of it kind of just feels like it was a blink and then it was over, you know?
Right.
It doesn't feel so significant anymore. Not significant.
No,
gee, thanks.
That's not what I mean. I just mean that it was like it was short. Like it was still short.
But I still get the
the
best girlfriend award.
friendship eclipses
I wouldn't
the
go that far.
relationship.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
We're not-
Even you said it. You're like, hey, you're the best girlfriend I've ever had.
Ew. I would never say that.
Yes, you did.
I would go.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna
did.
stay the
No.
fuck out of this
Anyway,
one.
that's
As
the
I was
point.
saying-
The point is that there's a difference between 5 years and like 2
Yes.
months, 1
And
month.
because
Whatever.
this one,
Months.
it's like what you were saying. Your friendship, it's easy. It easily eclipses the relationship.
Exactly.
Because it felt like like not even just that it was longer. It's just that you developed a stronger foundation as friends. as you
Exactly.
continue.
That's what I mean.
Right.
So not that I'm saying it's not possible for people who are in a
But it's a
long-term
lot
relationship to be
harder.
friends. It's a lot longer,
Right.
and I think it's necessary to take time apart for a long time too before you can rekindle the friendship because it would make it really hard. I think.
We text my ex, hey, so maybe in 3 years we can be friends.
Yeah, maybe 3 years. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's also me with my other ex too. Like I continue to see him even though we broke up because I wanted to stay friends with him because we have the same friends
Right.
that we see every weekend.
Right.
So I'm like, I have to stay friends with him. But now I blocked him from Facebook. I'm like, I can't do this.
Oh.
I can't do this, and that's
Good. You can't watch the show.
yeah. So like I blocked him from Facebook because I'm like, I can't do this. Like I need time away from him
Right.
so that I can be friends with him platonically. Because like actually like be friends with him with no other kind of emotions entailing it.
Yes.
So it's like I have to block him and I have to not talk to him and not have him have an access to talk to me anytime he wants, so that I can finally get rid of all of those emotions, all of those feelings, and just be strictly friends with him and only feel platonic feelings for him.
See, that's what I was talking about because their relationship was a long-term relationship. It was like 3 years. Our relationship was a lot shorter, so it was easier to get over. Like I heard a quote, it was like the relationship times 2 is how long it takes you to get over it or something.
Bitch.
No, half.
Half. Oh,
Half,
sorry,
half.
not times 2, half. Half of the length.
See you in 10 years.
Half of the time. Half of the
half.
relationship is how long it takes for you to get over it.
Yeah.
So 3 years, a year and a half. But for like
But I got over it in 10 months.
1 month is like 1 month.
Right.
What do you mean? I hate you guys.
2 months. 1 month. So.
That
so
makes
it's,
sense.
yeah.
So 2.5 years. Well, it's almost been 2.5 years for me.
Yeah.
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 See?
I'm getting there.
I like it's a theory, and I feel like it's obviously different for every person. It's not gonna like a fix for every person. It's gonna take that much amount of time. But I think
I would just find it funny because it's like taking away from like just how people are with friendships and stuff. It's I always ask myself, why do I feel like I really 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 want to have a friendship with my ex? You know, it's like I feel so strongly about, I need to be friends with my ex one day. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And for a lot of people, they start to think like, it's because you're not over your ex. And it's like, it's not about that. Like for me, it's like...
No, it's because you shared a history.
Yeah.
You guys went through a lot together.
Yeah.
And like just letting go of a person that you've been with through like a lot of shit that you've gone to hell and back with, it's not easy letting go. It's not easy saying, okay, goodbye.
Right.
It's, you want to keep them, like you will get that sense of feeling that you want to keep them in your life just because you've had so much history with them.
You invested
And
a lot in them too.
You've invested so much of yourself into them. So to you, there's somebody precious. There's somebody precious that you want to keep in your life, even if just as a friend. So I think that's why you want to be friends with your ex.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, well,
You know what? I will just say this, and I don't think a lot of people are able to say this about their exes, but I just really genuinely believe my ex is one of the best people that I've ever met.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cute.
And that's not, like... I feel bad because a lot of people will be like, you're an idiot, you're a fucking idiot. Like, look about this time, what about this, and what about that time? It's like, I think I have debunked it. That time was my OCD. That time was my OCD. That time was my OCD.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's why it really hurts.
But don't put it on yourself either, because I'm sure that there were...
I mean, the thing is, like, my ex owned up to the communication part, because that was the biggest thing, right? Was communication. But, again, I have to stress the fact that being in a relationship with somebody who is mentally unstable is very difficult.
Yeah.
That for a person who has had no experience in relationships, like this was also my ex's first real relationship.
Yeah.
For somebody to put themselves through that, how can you not call that person amazing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, God, I just said that on Facebook Live. My goodness, I'm a simp. Okay. Yes. All right. If you are a type of person who is not showy and don't text much and don't calls at all, and doesn't call at all, should I feel special that they called me on my birthday? No, because it's your birthday. Okay, the more inclination. Feel special if they call you on a random Tuesday. Don't feel special if they call you on a birthday. They call you on a birthday is because it says on their alarm or Facebook, right? That it's this person's birthday.
Also, don't feel special if it's like Tuesday night. Feel special if it's like Tuesday in the middle of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're laying in bed like, what should I do?
Well, I mean, they're busy.
I know, but like if it's in the middle of the night,
not in the middle of the night, like like 7 p.m.
Like 7 p.m.
Dinner
Yes,
time.
that's good. Yeah.
Right?
That is true. Yeah, birthdays, like special occasions like that.
Oh, even
of
if
course
I
I'm gonna think of you.
Yeah. That's exactly it. They're thinking of you. Even if I have told you I ain't showing any part of my body, what do you call that? Sorry, I'm extra high and enjoying this combo. It's like I'm there. I mean, that's the friendship part.
Sorry, who was
of friends with benefit.
Who was saying that comment? I can't see.
Dasha. It's friends. It's the friends part of with benefits. The friends part is the one that greets you. The benefit part is the one that fucks you.
Why are you saying it so awkwardly?
Because I said farts instead of parts. And I was like, wait, too many F's in this. Alright. And that more than an hour call was not my birthday because I didn't answer his call on my birthday. But that was intended for your birthday.
Yes.
And that would have happened on your birthday if you picked it up. Right? So again, we need to stop putting meanings into things that had no meanings. Right? Or things that we can't make a mountain out of a molehill. This was a happy birthday. This will last for an hour call on your birthday. But because you didn't pick up, this will now happen on the 5th day after your birthday when you finally pick up my calls.
Yes. Don't put a meaning behind it unless they give it a meaning. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense in my head.
I don't ever want to be friends with my ex, but that's because my longest relationship was 3 months, unlike yours, Steven. That's so nice to hear that you speak good things about your ex. You know, Dasha, you might not want to hear this right now live on Facebook, but your ex had only really good things to say about you as well.
Aww, that's nice.
Aww, don't cry.
And this is why I am still friends, with you. Not just because you and I have a really good relationship together, but there was no toxicity on his end at all. Because I feel like that's what really happens when people stop being friends with people's exes.
Yeah.
When they start hearing all the negatives.
Yeah.
What they've done. All this, all that.
Yeah.
And I can assure you this man had never... maybe like once when you guys were in a fight, complained about it, but ever since the breakup, it has never been like that.
It's nice that you didn't feel like you had to take a side. And
No,
you
and this is what's great about Dasha and her ex is they're both very mature. They're both your how do I say it? It's like your friend's friend. Like not friends, not like friend of a friend, but like they're your friend's friend. Like they are like, no, go ahead because I know that this person makes you happy.
Yeah.
Stay friends with that
That's
person.
great.
Very supportive. I love them both. All right, Tim. Can you vape in my room? Is there weed in it?
No.
Oh, I don't know how vape works.
It's nicotine.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't smell, right?
No.
Oh,
Well, it smells like berries.
Oh, that's fine. My friend Jerry always fucking vapes here. Tim, I'm jealous of y'all. I wish I could have friendships with my exes. But one way or another, at least for me, life happens and you just grow apart. All I can really do is wish the best for them and hope they find what they're looking for.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Aw,
nice.
that's
Tim. If you're still with us, it's like a seance. Are you still with us? If you're
Tim, are you with us?
Are you still with us? Spirit out of glass. How long were you and your ex together for? And while we wait on that answer, we're just gonna go back to us.
To be honest, she thought that she wouldn't see me again because despite the fact that we haven't known each other for a year yet, I've gotten really close with her family. I'm close with her mom, and I'm close with her sister. Her sister treats me like her sister.
Yeah.
So, and I'm really close with her mom. Like sometimes I'd go over to their house. She'd be in her room. I'd be in the balcony hanging out with her mom. Yeah. So it's like she would come out and be like, "Mom, stop stealing my friends," kind of thing. So it's like,
it's true.
Yeah. So when her mom moved out, I think for some reason she thought that I was only visiting to like see her mom.
I didn't really think that, but part of me wondered if you'd come around as much,
Yeah, like once her mom moved out, she opened up to me. She told me like, "Yo, I'm scared that I'm not gonna see you again." I'm like, "Why?" So it's like, because I feel like you want to come here to really see my mom. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean?
That's an OCD thought. I'm sorry. For me, it was an OCD thought. For her, it would be intrusive thoughts. Your girl only wants to hang out with your mom.
Yeah, but like she really thought that she wouldn't see me as much anymore because her mom isn't around anymore. It's like, bitch, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's like maybe I'm not fun enough. Maybe I'm not entertaining enough. I don't know. Like,
no.
I just date my mom. Oh my god.
No, like I love your mom and everything. Like I love hanging out with your mom, but like I also like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Like you know me. If I don't like hanging out with you, I'm gonna tell you. Like if you ask me to hang out with you, I'm gonna be like, no, thank you.
That's the thing is that it helped too is the fact that she's so honest. Like, even though I have those paranoid thoughts sometimes, when it comes down to it, I do know that like she's gonna be honest, and if she doesn't want me around or she thinks we can't be friends anymore for whatever reason, then she's gonna tell me. So I don't have to torture myself, but I do anyway because mental health.
Mental health.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's the masochist in her.
Yeah, it's the masochist.
Oh my goodness. Anxieties and harm OCD.
Yep.
Fucking worst thing ever. Oh man, that was so. You guys see yourself still being friends for a long time.
I hope so. Yeah.
think so.
I don't see any reason why we can't be, but I mean, there's still like hurdles we have to go over. Like when one of us moves on, how is that going to be, and how's it going to affect our friendship?
Ooh.
That's something.
Whoa! Hold on.
Wait, what?
What?
I didn't really think about that.
Wait a minute.
I think about it because I have anxiety. I have anxiety, so
because for me it's like if you move on, you start dating somebody, I'm gonna give you like my full honest opinion of them. If I don't like the vibe the person's giving, I'm like, yo, I don't like that person.
But that's not what I mean about that. I mean like, is the person that you or I dating gonna be okay with us hanging out as much as we do? Like, are they gonna be like, oh, that's your ex and you're hanging out with them all the time?
Well, then don't tell them that I'm your ex.
Lie! I can't lie. I can't lie. I'm a bad liar. But I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who is like jealous of my friend. Even if they're my ex, I can tell if I tell them honestly like there's something going on between us and they don't believe me. Obviously, I don't want to be with them.
Right.
But I'm just saying that that it's a possibility. It could happen.
Not even just that. Like you don't want to be the person that lies about something so simple because then it can snowball into things.
True. And it would just not be a good idea because then eventually the truth will come out sometime. Someone will mention it. You'll invite them over and then you'll be like, remember this time? And someone will like what? You told me they were just your friend and blah blah blah, and it just blow up in my face. That's why I don't lie.
Yeah. Okay, well, like if that's the case, if they're like, oh, I'm not comfortable with you hanging out with them, like, either you compromise with them and you just tell me like, hey, so this person, the person I'm dating is this and that. I will understand completely, 100%. But like, I'm like, hey, I can't hang out with you anymore because they don't want me to. I'm like, yo, what kind of friend you are? Like, okay, fuck off then.
I wouldn't do that, but I don't know. It's still, I'm just saying it's still something that we haven't experienced yet since our, friendship,
Right.
Why were you putting air quotes in the friendship?
I don't know.
She did.
It wasn't supposed to be air quotes. I just mean I meant because I was including the times we weren't exactly friends. That's why.
This is
our friendship hasn't lasted.
This is also the longest episode I've done. We are running at 1 hour and 10 seconds.
No.
Minutes.
What do you mean? I was like,
That's how long I've. Okay, wait. Tim's here. Okay, Tim. All right, so Tim has been 2 years with his ex. After moving in together, we became more like roommates than partners and decided it best to call it quits and be friends. We stayed friends and slowly stopped talking to each other, but now he has a new partner. They actually just bought a house together in another state, so I'm happy for him. Why did I get sad reading that?
You're feeling sad for him. But maybe he doesn't feel sad about it at all.
No, he's clearly happy about it. But I guess he was just saying that he wishes he still had the kind of friendship that you guys had with his ex, right? But I guess that's just how it is when people move, right? It's not so much, it's hard to say what the other person's intentions are, but I'm just really glad that you have this healthy outlook on that because you can't beat yourself up over losing a friend, especially when they start dating other people, like what you have said.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's so different. So just hang in there, Tim. Like I really hope you guys figure it out. I hope, when this episode comes out, you can just post this on your wall and maybe your ex will see it.
Tag your ex.
Talk about it. Tag your ex. It's a minute.
Tag your ex.
It's an hour and shut the fuck up. It's an hour and 14 minutes into the show where I talk about you. Or just rewind a bit. An hour and 10 minutes. All right.
Yeah.
Dasha, usually there's a reason why partners get jealous of your friends. You either said something or they saw something that has malice. Always fucking trust your gut. How do you ladies feel about this?
Oh, I've been there, done that. Yeah, like I have, like with my previous ex before her, I did not like his best friend, and I was wondering, I was like, why do I not like her? And then I found out that he was trying to get with her before, so it's kind of like there's a little history there. And then they became best friends, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, like, whatever. And then, like, just a lot of drama happened that I'm not gonna get into. And then, I don't know, like, yeah, like, legit, just trust your guts. Like, I thought before it was just, like, my insecurity. But then he kind of, like, provided information that I'm like, okay, it wasn't my insecurity. There really was something. But also, there's also another side of that coin where it's like, your partner could just be insecure.
Right.
Because especially if it's like if your partner is somebody that you just met, like you haven't known each other for so long, and then you're friends with your ex who you've known for such a long time and you're really close to, they might be insecure about your relationship with your ex.
That's true, yeah.
Because you guys are close, you guys know each other very well, so it's kind of like they know you better than your partner knows you. So there's that too.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Fuck. For me, I'm starting to realize I am the insecure one because my ex. Alright. My ex saw a few things on my phone before or laptop, but it's literally like I'm loyal, like I'm faithful. I would never cheat. Like, I'm not that kind of person. And my ex was so nonchalant about it. And I mistook that as, oh, because my ex is doing the same thing. And then I had this MO where I was out to get my ex. Like, I can not understanding that, well, first of all, that's my OCD talking.
Yeah.
You know, second of all, why couldn't I have seen it as my ex just trusts me?
Yeah.
You know? So, regarding what Dasha was saying about, like, you know, like, reasons why partners get jealous, I believe that. But at the same time, with the whole malice thing, it really does boil down to the insecurities.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're in a relationship, you're supposed to be able to trust that person.
Yeah.
If something you see like that, like, and I guess it's different too, right? Like, if you see them actually actively texting, that's, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a no.
Yeah.
That's just a no.
Yeah.
But if it's just somebody else sending them something with no response from your partner, then it's a you problem if you start being all, oh, what is the meaning of this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I told you this person just sent me this.
Yeah.
I never sent anything back. I don't want to. It's, you know, but that becomes really hard because your gut will tell you, no, they've been messaging before, they've been doing this, this person's gonna keep doing this to you. But logically, you don't know, you'll never know, right?
Yeah.
So that's where, you know, as much as I want to say, do trust your guts, trust your instincts, my instincts have led me somewhere else.
Yeah.
To the point where that's when my relationship started unraveling.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, I'm a strong believer in gather your evidence before actually making a decision on it, because that, I feel like, is what brings people down. Like, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
they're
it's
kind
true.
of
It's true. But yeah, like I even told her about my ex, like Fatima, that I was like, hey, my other best friend Fatima really wants to meet you, and then I'm like, but she is my ex, like we used to date.
Right.
So I opened up to her about it, but and then I also clarified that like there's nothing going on between us anymore. Like that is all in the past. She has a girlfriend. Like we're just platonically friends,
Right.
and she understood.
Yeah, I'm glad that she was open about that and didn't try to hide it and be like, oh yeah, you know, because that would have
been just
if I found out
Yeah.
somehow other way, you know, it would have seemed sketchy. But
Yeah.
So my question now, okay, 'cause we are kind of running out of time. We've been out of time. You know, this has been a great show. This has been a great topic. We should do this more often. But before we go, I do want to ask, when you guys start dating somebody else, and you find out that they are still good friends with their ex, and they dated for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years,
Yeah.
how would you guys feel about that?
For me, as long as they can prove to me that their romantic relationship is in the past and they're just good friends now, then I'm okay with it.
So you would still go ahead knowing that?
Yeah, I'd still go ahead knowing that. But as soon as I see something funny going on, like a little flirting.
But what if that's
even
their
if
kind of
it's-
relationship? What if they're just they're very fucking flirty?
Yes, but you gotta understand, you're in a relationship with somebody else now. You have to stop that out of respect for your partner. If you don't stop that, I will drop you.
What if it's one of those things where, how do I say this? Like really friendly type of flirting. Like you're just a flirt. Like you would just, what up, sexy? That kind of shit. Would that bother you? Would you say why are you
Yes,
calling
it would.
Okay.
I'm a jealous person.
Okay.
It would bother me.
All right. What about you, Evan? How do you feel about the whole?
it's kind of hard to give an answer because I don't see myself in a relationship like for years and years and years and years.
Right.
So I feel like at this moment wouldn't be. I don't know. I think I'm a very insecure person. I have a lot of mental health struggles, of course. So right now, and like the me who does date again in the future, how we see it will be very different, I think. So it really does depend.
But right now, you would
And-
just be like.
And the thing too is that, like, you know, with girls, that they treat their friends like that way, you know.
That's what I'm
So that's the
saying.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's different. It's
Yeah.
very different. Like that's how people are with their friends. Like they say that, you know. So it's just I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about it.
And you know what? This is great, and I'm so sorry that by the time the show's gonna end, but I do have to address this.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this. This is not a topic on that, but this will be my next topic, maybe. Glenn, are you even asking questions, Glenn? Glenn just said, "Notice me, senpai." I've been saying.
I haven't.
You have not asked anything, Glenn. What the heck?
Glenn, are you trolling?
Seriously, I bet you he like come out, scroll back on Facebook and said it again. All right, wait. Dasha says, "For me, if you date one day or 20 years, then don't date me while you're still friends." Ooh.
So she would not date anyone who's friends with their
Yeah,
ex.
exceptions only for exes who has kids together.
Oh yeah, that's important.
I'm glad you said that,
Glenn's
Dash.
question.
Oh, Glenn. Okay, question. Glenn, what is your question?
I think that having the ability to be friends with your ex like shows a kind of maturity. You know, I think it's a good sign, like the fact that they can be mature and get over those
agree.
things.
But also what kind of friendship it is.
Well,
And
of
you-
course, it depends on what kind of friendship.
But this is why, like we said earlier, it's preference,
Yeah.
right? Every person is different. There is no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people. He literally said the word question. That's it. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I can't read.
All right, forget it.
What does it say?
He is trolling us. I'm sorry.
No, Glenn is just trolling.
No, going strong. Okay, but like what going back to what Dasha said, like she would never be friends. Oh, she would never date somebody who is still friends with their ex.
Yeah.
That's just what she likes,
Yeah.
right? And there are other people out there who sees it the same way she does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like Dasha, I really hope you find that person, because at the end of the day, no matter how amazing this person is, if that is an issue, I don't think you're this kind of person, but I've seen a lot of people do this, where they force their partners to cut that person off.
Yeah.
I don't care if nothing's happening. I don't like when people are still friends with their exes.
Mm-hmm.
That is unfair.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I start to say, you know what? It doesn't matter how great of a relationship you guys have. If that in itself is an issue, then you're not the right person for each other.
Yeah.
At all.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
For you to start asking a person to change something or change their values and beliefs, that to me is a no-no.
That's a real big red flag.
It is. Glenmar _ Mikula. GLENNMAR _MICULOB. Cut my hair. That's on Instagram, by the way. I think he's saying this because he wants me to plug his haircut abilities. You know, he's super safe. He can drive to your place. Just make sure that you are quarantined for 14 days. This message has been sponsored by Glenn. And I do look great. For people who are listening to the podcast, you can't see it, but damn, I look like I am a Korean drama star.
Yes. Now add the glasses.
Damn.
안녕하세요. I'm fucking. I'm kidding. Oh, and we lost 2 viewers from that. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Damn.
All right.
How many viewers do we have? I can't see.
We have 8 so far. We had 10, but then people left when I started saying that. Okay.
Yeah.
Dasha, don't worry. Whenever I see something like that, I don't ask them to change or cut other people. I cut myself out from it. It is true. That has always been, and that's, you know, I feel like a lot of people need to take more of an initiative like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they know that that's not what they want,
Yeah.
and they're saving the other person time as well. I clap. But yeah, you know what? For me, I am one of those rare people where as long as I know it's in the past,
Mm-hmm.
be my fucking guest. Because at the end of the day, guess what? I am coming into their lives. Who am I to change that whole entire dynamic because of my insecurities?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I know for me, that will be coming from insecurities if I feel that type of way about a person.
Exactly.
That's
Right?
what it is. It's all about insecurity. It's all about trust, you know? Like,
Exactly.
you can't... Every person has something, you know, that maybe you don't like so much.
Yeah.
Everyone has baggage. So you have to see what you can and can't deal with. And if you can't deal with it, like Dasha said, you remove yourself from the situation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I love it. You know what? You guys have been great. I am, unless somebody asks something else, I'm going to have to end this. Oh, NSA, yes, I am part of NSA. We are on Spotify. Our EP just dropped 3 Fridays ago. If you type NSA on Spotify or NSA, Say No More, that is her 3rd single. How does one deal with other people's baggage? Now that, you gotta be specific, because you could be talking about like
What kind of baggage?
like a luggage at an airport. You could be talking about
handheld
anything else,
handheld bag.
right? But for now, our topic is about exes and being friends with your exes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the dynamic with relationships after.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you know what? This has gone on for too long. Oh my goodness, this is a long ass. Should I cut this and like split into 2 episodes?
Yeah, you're gonna have
I
to
could,
part one,
right?
part
This
two.
is
No, you're gonna have to make 3 because
Oh,
isn't
no.
your
40 minutes.
Unloaded
40
time.
minutes. 40 minutes. So
40
you know,
minutes,
it's not
okay.
bad. Not
I
bad.
thought your loaded time was like 30.
No, it's okay. It's an hour and 20. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, you can split
It
it.
can be friends or loved ones. I mean,
In general,
it's funny because Glenn will never say what the problem is because he has all of his friends and family on Facebook.
The baggage you're saying could be friends or loved ones?
Okay, so you know what? Let's deal with your ex's baggage then.
yeah.
If they bring baggage into okay, for you guys,
Mm-hmm.
when you broke up and restarted this friendship, how were you able to deal with each other's baggage? Because I know the dynamic will shift from I have to care about this person because they are my significant other to I have to care about this person to a certain extent because they are my friend.
For me, because it's really easy for me to set boundaries,
Yes.
I was able to transition.
Oh, I love it.
Transition.
Next one. Got something in your mouth.
Yeah, but like I was able to transition from it really easily, because as soon as it was cut off, I was able to step back and be like, okay, now I don't need to solve any of her problems. I can give her advice, I can give her suggestions, I can give her support when she needs it. But other than that, I am not going to 100% go out of my way and change and just drop everything and change my way of life to help her.
Yeah.
Because she has to deal with this on her own now.
Okay.
Yeah, like it wasn't like I cared less about her problems than I did before, but it was the way I handled it. Like the removing the label in that relationship kind of took the pressure off me. So like for example, when she's upset, she doesn't tell people about what's upsetting her. She just like isolates herself or whatever. And that used to really bug me. I mean, it still bugs me, but not to the same extent. Whereas I would try to pressure her to open up and say, you know, what's happening because I want to help you. But now if she does that, I'm just like, okay, like if she wants to talk to me, she will. And I don't feel the pressure to like figure out what's wrong and make sure she's okay. And if, you know, obviously if she reaches out and she needs help, I'm there for her. But it's not, I know it's not my responsibility alone to figure out what's wrong and solve it.
Okay.
Yeah, because like when we were in a relationship, I know she was having a hard time because I do not open up to people. I don't like asking for help. I will deal with my shit my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I will sit on it and like think about it. But like I don't tell people what my problem is. I'll tell them like I'm going through something, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I fucking deal with your shit here at home. Like, sometimes you would just disappear into the abyss, and then all of a sudden you come out, I need to make coffee. And it's like, are you okay, girl? And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Or, you know, sometimes I wake up at 5 a.m. to...
Oh, the dog video?
Sorry, inside joke, guys. You know, I love you, but damn. I'll never let that go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but I totally get it. Because that is how I deal with it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really... Actually, sometimes I bitch at her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is bitched at me.
Yeah.
He has yelled at me more than any of my friends has.
Well, I did bitch at her one time because it was like she went too far, where she was just like not talking to me at all for like weeks and didn't tell me why, and that she was upset. And I was like, yeah, and she apologized. She was like, oh well, you know, just ask me.
Does that have something to do with the fact that you used to date her, or was that just you being a bitch?
No, that was just her just closing herself off to everybody. But I took it personally and thought she was just closing off to me because she didn't come and say, oh, I'm not feeling good, so I'm not talking to anybody. But I was just like,
Yeah.
you know.
That was just you being you and you thinking.
Me thinking it was a me problem because she was closing herself off, but then realizing later after I talked to her that like it wasn't a her thing.
Well, this is great. I feel like you now both have a great understanding of how you guys are.
Yeah, I understand more how she works, especially now, especially than before. Yeah.
I'm a very complicated person.
You truly, truly are. Truly.
I was trying to say that as as a joke. What do you mean?
Not really complicated. Like I couldn't guess what her answer's gonna be to like 80% of my texts. So
That's true.
Well, that's because
It's a
I
mixed bag.
don't like to text.
yeah, she has like 5 answers.
God, you're so deflective. Anyway, all right. One last thing. Okay, Glenn, we're gonna save that for next time. You know what? That'll be your next topic on our next episode. Love languages, right?
Money.
Oh my god.
Start your OnlyFans. Tim, request for a future podcast: rejection and how you deal with it. Oh, definitely.
Crying.
I am the king of rejection. Not because I reject people. Whoa, hold on. Because I reject myself.
Same.
Right? And that, I think, is the biggest, I feel like, our growth is understanding that people don't necessarily reject us because we reject ourselves before they even get a chance to.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I just stopped giving a fuck.
And there's the podcast that you wanted. In 5 seconds, rejection answered. Anyways, this has been so much fun, guys. I actually really don't want to end this. Reject me, senpai. Fuck you. Hey, Glenn, you know what? You know what? I can reject you. Remember when you gave me a line on my hair? When you first cut my hair and I asked you for a line? And instead you balded me?
You just gave him a shout out. Now you're like ruining his reputation.
I'm not ruining the reputation. You know why? Because if you see my hair now, I was his guinea pig. I was his fucking guinea pig. Okay? Like, I look amazing now. Thank you. But that did not, no pain, no gain.
Gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. Gotta start bald.
Yeah.
You gave me a parking space. I asked for a sidewalk and I got a parking space. Thank you, Glenn. Mariah, my debit card got rejected. This is not the right topic, guys. Please stay within the parameters of our topic. Breaking down the breakdown about exes, not your debit card getting rejected, but that is sad. The worst time. When was okay? Since we're on this topic, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. This is
Credit card? Debit card?
I'm probably not gonna upload. No, I have to upload this on Spotify. I'll just cut at a certain point. But we are. You know what? Anyway.
You can just edit it.
Yeah, I'll just edit it.
Yeah.
Worst place where your debit card has been rejected.
Ooh, when I was buying my Timberland boots.
Oh no!
You're buying what?
My Timberland boots.
Oh.
I was buying it. I went to like B2B, and I was like, I got money, and I'm like, bitch. When I tell you, I went there. I was so confident, and I'm like, yes, I would like to buy this. And it was like over $200.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, I would like to buy this. I'm like, okay, that's $200. Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, credit card, please. And then I went, and it's like declined. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Wrong card. I'll be right back. And I never went back. I never returned.
Okay, Emily.
I think LCBO was probably the worst for me because I was just like, it was just bad because I was just like there. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get this, and then it just declines. I'm like, well, okay, bye, and I just left. And also the grocery store is pretty bad because you have like $100 grocery order.
Oh my god.
You're about everything's bagged up, and then it's just like decline. You're like, never mind. I'm just like,
yeah,
it's just the worst.
Because then you have to put everything back.
Yeah.
For me,
sad.
I will never forget this. I used to work at the bench at Fairview Mall.
Yeah.
And everybody who knew me back in 2011, 2012 knew I lived paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay? I used to pay $350 for rent. I would only work maybe 15 to 20 hours a week because I was lazy. So I literally would not have enough for certain days.
Yeah.
Now I thought I got paid this one Friday. I thought I got paid.
Bitch, you thought.
I went down to McDonald's for breakfast and I got 2 McDoubles.
No.
And I paid
For
with my
breakfast?
debit card. Yeah, I didn't like the breakfast. It was too expensive.
Oh.
McDoubles back then was like $1.25 or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I got 2 McDoubles. Decline. $2.50. Decline.
Yeah, I think it is the worst getting declined for a small amount.
I said, oh, can I say 1 McDouble? Decline.
Oh, no. Yo, that sucks so
The
bad.
person was looking at me and it was like,
Can I just have water, please?
I just had to be honest. I was like, I thought it was payday. I go back up. I ask my manager. I'm like, hey, we didn't get paid today. Oh yeah, there's a delay in the payroll.
Have you seen those memes, Steven? There's like a your car gets declined memes. It's like when your car gets declined in the Subway sandwich person starts disassembling the sandwich. It's like when your car declines at the when you're giving birth and they just put the baby back in.
Oh god.
It's like
That's messed
painful.
up. That's messed up. Alright, well, Glenn says his was at a KFC Toonie Tuesday special.
oh no.
Glenn, this is why you and I are really great friends. Both rejected for food. Anyway, that was that. We've entertained that. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, it's been a blast. I'm sorry for the listeners that this kind of took a turn. Not just because it's so fucking long, but also because, damn, we started to get off topic. But,
all over the place.
again, thank you to Christine and Emily for proving that even though you are exes, you can still be friends, even though it's really short.
Yes.
But, again, tune in for next time. This is Steven Diego. You were listening / watching Breaking Down the Breakdown.
Can I shout out my show?
Oh yes! Oh my god! How can I forget? Christine
Yeah,
over
how dare
here,
you.
hosts with the amazing Thea. Now I know who Thea is. I can finally accept her friend request on Facebook. She added me I think like a year ago, and I was like, "Who is this person?" Not realizing I actually do know the person.
Oh
I feel like shit. Thea Ramona's Cruz. See, I know your full name. And Christine has a show on Kumu, right?
Yes. Kumu, so it's an app where you can go live and stream. It's mainly it's mainly like a lot of Filipino content.
Sounds Filipino. Kumu.
Yeah, it's short for Kumusta. Kumusta.
I swear Kumusta starts with A.
You can spell it
Yeah,
both ways.
we interchange it. Filipino language.
Mhm. There's a lot of words that you can just spell.
I'm Filipino. How do I not know this?
But yeah, so it's Kumu. It's a pretty new app. It's only been Shut up. But like it's a pretty new app. Like it's only been around for like a few years. And yeah, so we have a show every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 9:30. We do talk about different topics. It's usually like sensitive topics that people don't really like talking about, like
Nipples.
your what?
Nothing.
Your nipples?
Yes,
we talk about
actually.
yeah, we talk about
nipples.
Steven's nipples and how they're
Sensitive.
nipples. Yes.
Oh,
But yeah, so like just this week, last Tuesday, we just talked about mental illness and the stigma around it in Philippines and also in our culture.
Really good.
And the week before that, we talked about how much your elder can say about your future, about what career you should go into, and things like that. Next week, we are going to talk about racism within our culture and in general. Yes, so it is. You can follow her because it's she's always the one hosting it, and then I just go up on it. You can follow her. It's Miss Lito, and you can also follow me. It's just another Asian. There is no E on another, and yeah. So just follow us. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know the other time zones, but like figure it out.
Amazing. Nothing like plugging your talk show on my motherfucking talk show. All right, Emily, do you have shout outs before we go?
Nope. I have no shout outs. I have nothing to plug. I don't do anything with my life. I'm just here. But thanks so much, Steven, for having me. And I look forward to, being on your show again, hopefully.
Of course you will. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Before we go, Mariah, I'll tune in for sure. More power, guys. Thank you. Pinoy Vibes Toronto.
Woohoo!
When are you guys gonna get my band to be interviewed again? Mariah? Yeah? We're down. We're itching. We just released a new EP. We kind of want that plug. Tim got rejected paying for dinner for a client at a nice restaurant.
Oh no!
Dinner set off a fraud alert. Okay, I'm sorry. That takes the fucking cake.
Jesus.
Tim.
That sucks, my dude.
All
I
right.
hope that doesn't happen to you again.
Tim is gonna be my next guest about rejections in relationship and financial.
Financial rejection.
Shout me out, Glenn Mikulov, my drummer, amazing barber. Shouting you out. Love you. Thank you for being here for me through my harm OCD ordeals. You and Dion been nothing but supportive. I love you both. All right, that wraps up the show tonight. Thank you so much. And remember, I always say this after every show. Be compassionate. Okay? Because you never know what the other person is going through. You never know why the other person's such a bitch. Why the other person's so goddamn rude. why the other person wants to deck you in the face. You don't know if they're schizo. You don't know if they have intrusive thoughts. You don't know if they have OCD. You don't know if they have borderline personality disorder, bipolar, anxiety, depression, everything under the sun, because you're not psychic and you're not the friends. So the best way you can do is be compassionate.
Yes.
Because only then will you be able to see the scope of the world and see how you should be treating other people like how you want to be treated. I love y'all. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right. Oh my God. What the?